Talk Show.
It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 493.
It's Tuesday, and we will see you next Tuesday at our 500th. It's 1 week, boys, before we celebrate.
Do you think there's anyone that's accidentally going to rock up today thinking it's today?
I got a message from my mate Tommy D last week saying, hey, mate, still tickets available for tonight. It was a couple of weeks in advance. So
Ryan John said looking forward to Tuesday, and that was last week.
shit,
So I think he'll be fine. I asked 97, it's like, no, he said next Tuesday, and then it brought up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is it this Tuesday, next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Did you clarify?
No, I just said looking forward to it.
You know what could have really stuffed him? Can you go to Josh Jansen's Instagram quickly and read out the post which he posted on Sunday night? So if Ryan had last week sent that see you next Tuesday, Sunday night stumbled upon your post, read the post which the title was, or the...
Have you subscribed to the Daily Talk Show podcast? A lot of epic things are planned for next month.
Bit of hype.
If you'd like to follow along, next week we celebrate 500 episodes and head off to LA.
Mate, we're in that week. We're not celebrating 500, but Ryan John mentioned...
Wait, next week?
You wrote that on Sunday.
That
and
was
you said
correct,
next week.
no?
No. Definitely not.
I think it's too risky.
It's
On
too...
a Sunday to say next week.
Yeah.
But was I correct in saying that, or was I
no,
wrong?
it's the classic debate of when does a weekday start.
And what do you
When
guys
does a week
think?
start?
Monday. Starts on Monday. It's when
And
the
so-
work week
So,
starts.
okay. I mean, yeah.
Well, if so,
I mean, officially it's Sunday, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's not officially.
No,
And
it is in the calendar.
but I'm not even debating that. But it's slightly annoying.
But you wouldn't have said 2 weeks away. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
And so what are we all wearing?
This is what I wanted you to do. Check the temperature for next Wednesday. Sorry, next Tuesday.
Fuck, you're giving out the wrong information. Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Tiff says Monday. Jesus, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Tiff.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Tuesday next week.
Tuesday next week. The
Or
temperature.
24.
That's
That's
lovely.
pretty warm.
That's lovely. It's definitely t-shirt time.
Okay.
Or 6 p.m. 22 degrees.
Lovely.
9 p.m. 17 degrees. So it's
Lovely.
between 22 and 17 degrees.
That's lovely.
I'm feeling very accomplished today.
Yeah. I mean, you were high-spirited in the morning and you've hit an absolute brick wall.
Well, it's
Like a
fine.
crash
It's
test
like
dummy.
it's 3:39, and so I was talking to you yesterday about the idea of doing 7 to 3.
And what time did you get started this morning? Like work-wise?
Well, it depends with the blood tests. Do the blood tests
No.
count or no? No, I think they do count.
yeah.
If we're being honest.
Which then it starts at 8. You start at 8:30.
Yeah, but I had to get there. Yeah, I guess so.
Nah,
Yeah, no, I get that. And so maybe I'm low based on the lack of blood.
I mean, I had a blood test today. It's my second.
Mm-hmm.
There's no... How are you feeling, Mr. 97s?
I'm good. Is your arm still sore? Like a bit sensitive? Like
Oh, no, not this one. This one.
Oh, they did on the
they
other-
did a
oh,
good,
so you've got
they did a
both
good
of them.
job. Yeah, I did. Mate,
I don't think you properly told people what happened. So you ended up getting 2 blood tests.
Well, I got 2 blood tests because as I was handing the form to the first nurse who took my blood, and I noticed it said on there testosterone free, and then I went down a rabbit hole that night of what testosterone free is, and I panicked, and I was like, it's a different test, and we got informed that no, it's going to be a different reading if the other boys are just getting their total testosterone measured.
Your doctor fucked up because I spoke to my doctor and I was sort of lecturing on him, like lecturing to him.
Yeah, I mean, always lecture the smarter person in the room.
And so
That's what dumb people do.
So I was just saying, no, just be clear. I want to make sure that I'm getting the right testosterone thing. And he said, no one would get you to test testosterone free unless you've had total testosterone tested. Testosterone free, getting that dialed in is only after the other one.
yeah. Why would you want your free one? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's a bit of a
I just
weird,
asked
like-
testosterone. The doctor did say when I mentioned the renovation looked nice. Remember how he said,
Yeah.
before it looked like a brothel.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So
Yeah,
it was a
weird
little
unit.
bit of a weird unit.
It was a weird unit. Anyway, I went back, got it done. It's getting the results this week, and they'll be shared at the 500th episode, which I'm pumped. Oh, boys, did I tell you I went to the Athlete's Foot to track down Nathan?
Oh, no.
Because we're going to ask Nathan.
Nathan, he doesn't work on weekends.
Well, Friday nights didn't work. I've seen him
I was
in there
joking.
since.
Yeah.
I went up and asked, is Nathan working tonight?
Well, you have seen him since.
I've seen him since in there as I've walked past, but I didn't go in and shake his hand and just say, mate.
Should we just DM him or no?
I mean,
I mean, that's what I was thinking.
I go there quite a bit now because I go to the gym there and
Mhm.
over the week. So last Friday night, Amy and I, it was date night.
Mhm.
It was a bit of like a last minute mum takes Bodhi on a Friday afternoon sometimes, picks him up at 3 p.m. from daycare.
My understanding of date night is it's like a pre-planned thing.
So mum was taking Bodhi and then I said, oh, maybe you could sleep the night there.
Mhm.
And then she's like, oh, but you'd have to come in the morning really early, or come in the morning to pick him up. And she said, what time would you like to come? And I just highballed it, and she agreed. I was like, because I was
What
like,
time?
I would have come at 9, but she said, oh, you're going to come at like 11. You can come at 11 or something like that.
Oh,
no,
that's
10,
not early.
10.
It's not early at all.
Bodhi wakes up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
every single day, dude.
Yeah,
Regardless.
that's what we mean. So that's why 11's not early.
Sorry,
I think
sorry, what I'm trying to say is I highballed, meaning went later so we could have the most time,
Mhm.
and
I think we
mum agreed
understand.
to that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
But your mum had said she wanted you to pick him up early.
no. Yeah, sorry, I fucked it up. Anyway, you know what I mean. And so mum had him, and then we were like, oh, we finally, get some time together. So it was like a last minute, what should we do?
And what did you do? Did you go to a
Mate,
movie?
The ultimate suburban date night.
Mhm.
Went to the local charcoal chicken. I got a souvlaki. Amy got a little salad out the front. We sat out the front of the souvlaki joint. Went to Coles. Got a bit of chocky. Then we
You're
went
just
to,
describing my evenings. So when does the date come in?
and then we went to have a hot chocolate at
Max Brenner.
Doncaster Shopping Centre.
At Max Brenner?
I think
Oh,
Max
did they
Brenner's
close
shut-
down?
No,
closed
there's
down.
another chocolate place there. It was disappointing, but
Oh.
the hot chocolate was subpar.
Mhm.
It was Max Brenner would have killed it, but we went and we just walked through the shopping centre.
Did you
throughout that
enjoy
night.
it?
I enjoyed the time with Amos. We didn't really go into shops, and and so that's when I went in to see if
Mhm.
Nathan was there.
On date night.
Well, Amy was like, she seemed
taking-
keen on it. I was like, we're here. Should we see if Nathan's working? She's like, yeah. I mean, we're always up to fucking mischief. We're always on some mission.
What do you think, 97? If you were to do a date night and you had to organise one, we know that you're not great at this.
Yeah, I mean, don't do that date night if you're bloody.
Yeah.
Don't listen. That's a 4-year marriage.
If I had to organise a
Yeah.
date night.
Mm.
Actually, Rach, who did my hair, she had some great advice.
Mhm.
You go to the arcade place near the
Time
the
zone.
ski rink.
Ski-
Near
Ice
in
skating
Docklands.
rink?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
ski rink. Yeah, ice skating rink.
ice skating rink.
Apparently there's an arcade zone there.
but so what are you trying to prove doing that?
I don't know.
What, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
No,
I
can
can
you just
imagine
think about?
Tommy.
Can you not use someone else's? Can you actually just use some initiative right now and come up with a date night for yourself? Like, what would you do? What does Mason do? I know you don't date that much.
I would have done. I would do exactly what I've done on the previous 2 dates that I went on, or whatever.
Just cook food for them.
Yeah. No. Well, I wouldn't want to go out anywhere.
What if you're being judged on the date night? Like
I'd
if it
do
was
the
like a
same thing. It
bachelor
doesn't
type
matter.
thing.
I'd do the
Because you
same thing.
always are being judged.
Yeah, that
you
was
got to
my-
risk.
I was trying to hack it.
No, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Who's it thinking of, them or you?
A bit of both. More me.
Is there a reason you wouldn't sort of do something that, if you were to think, what does a girl want to do? So your case, what do you think a girl wants to do? I mean, you got to gauge them, but if you were to sort of just go, a pretty safe date night with a girl could be around this. And what does that look like? And it doesn't include your fucking dates that you do, like how you roll.
Yeah. Probably. Well, yeah. You're probably going out out for dinner somewhere and getting a drink. Yeah.
That's always a good start.
Yeah.
It's hard to
I mean,
go wrong.
it's been a while since I've done like a proper. Like I know I laugh at your
When
version
was your
of
last
going to
date
the
night?
athlete's foot.
Yeah.
The last one.
before the
I don't know.
podcast.
Yeah. No, I mean, we do. I think
Your,
less.
your date night text that you sent me. This is the latest. You sent me a
when was
text
that?
saying the latest date that you've organised. Was that?
Oh no, that was about you. So
I know that's what I mean. So you sent me a text because I was staying up late or waiting for some
you booked in a time
for our website
for
to
the
be
website
migrated.
migration. You said I've just booked in for 10 p.m. And I said that's the latest date you've ever been on. Making a joke is like that's
Yeah, but I wasn't because I thought that initially, and I was like, oh, I don't know what he's talking about. So I just
it was a shit
replied
joke.
with laughing.
Well,
and
because
dates are so foreign to him.
Yeah, but you didn't write back initially, and so then I was like, haha. Thanks for doing that. Then I was like, oh God, like I've just hit some sort of trigger point. I didn't realize, so I cleaned it up.
What is a date night for you, JJ?
That's why I'm trying to ascertain.
When was the last time you went on date night?
I
you
mean,
went
we
to-
do
you went-
something most weekends.
Yeah, I think there's like I mean, maybe.
But that's why, like, you've redefined the date night because you said, I've been on a date night. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, you went all out and stuff, but then you described you got charcoal chicken.
Yeah,
then
and
you had
I
hot
described
chocolate
it as
and
the most suburban date night.
Yeah, Tiff said suburban life dreams.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, it escapes us. Amy and I just can't sort of drop and go out for dinner by ourselves. There's no screaming kid. Like you really do see and use that term date night. Like I know you guys go out for dinner all the time and you're always hanging out. So maybe it is a bit different. Maybe it's just,
But mate,
Jem says, OMG, Sev's date night. This is the content I live for. What drink would you order, Sevs? Are you shouting?
yeah. And what do you think?
What drink would I order?
I reckon he would shout too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would shout, but I would.
because you don't do it enough for it to be stingy about it.
yeah.
It's not like you're gonna have one the next week.
Yeah. What drink would I order? I don't know.
For yourself or for her? Is that what Jem's asking for?
No, well, I reckon for myself because I would have no idea. Actually, I have no idea what to order for both. But
I think it depends on where you're going.
yeah, well,
If it's sort of a beachy
it would-
theme,
it wouldn't-
maybe a
it wouldn't-
pina colada.
yeah, it would
pretty
be something
sta-
sweet. It wouldn't be like beer or anything.
I'd probably
Too
you'd
sweet.
you'd ask what their specials are because if you go to a Mexican place,
Yeah,
you wouldn't necessarily have a red wine at a Mexican place.
A fish bowl. Depends on if you're in New York at one of those sort of underground Mexican
Yeah.
restaurants, then you can have a red wine.
Yeah, I mean, so going on the date night thing, if you were to plan something and to give it more thought, what do you think the ultimate date night is?
I mean, for us, previous ones have been a really nice restaurant that we like. So the fucked up problem is, dude, we end up booking these and we get there and we're so exhausted, which is like, we're so tired because it's like usually coincides date night is a getaway from the child. And so unless it's 2 days away for a Flinders FF,
Fuckfest.
it's you're not sort of re-energized.
Yeah. Actually, that reminds me, about 3 weeks ago, Bree got one of these vouchers where you basically you can use it for a few different restaurants. You heard about these things?
No, what is it?
So it's like it's like there's a bunch of food places. So it's like a third party company, and someone gave us a voucher, and so then you can use it at that place, like at all. You've got a selection of 4 different restaurants, and so Bree, we've had this voucher for like 8 months. And Bree's like, we should definitely use it, and so we actually used it. It was when we just had some public holidays recently. Anyway. Grand final night.
Oh, yeah.
It was grand final night. Went to dinner and got the set menu, got drinks. It's about $170. Our voucher was for $150, and so it was like $20. That's cool.
great.
And then Bree said, I should just double check to make sure that this restaurant is definitely on the list. And she pulled out the voucher. And then she's like, oh, no, it's not. So we'd gone
so
all
annoying.
out, and we still got that voucher. We weren't able to use it.
And
so
you got
annoying.
But
170.
so lucky that we didn't go through the process of trying to use the voucher. That would have been really
Mate, I
annoying.
know how embarrassing would it be to walk into a place and ask about their special the burrito full of avocado and then work out you're at the wrong Mexican restaurant.
You have done that.
Red foil.
Red foil. You have done that.
Jem says in quotes, "Hello, I'll have 2 shots of vodka, please. No ice and a straw." Belinda Wall says what she said.
Yeah.
Imagine a Flinders FF for the first date.
Who said that?
Gem. Yeah, had Gem all over it. I mean, dates give you anxiety. The going to the doctors, for me, I mean, part of it was because I was running out of petrol going there, and I thought that I was potentially going to miss my appointment.
Yeah.
Well, not even miss my appointment, but just be in a situation where I'm in the middle of a intersection and the car stops.
Oh, that's the worst.
Has that ever happened to you? Or not?
Nah, I ran out of fuel approaching lights, and then I was slowing down, and I managed to open the door and start pushing my old piece of shit VL Commodore, rolled through the lights into the service station.
Oh, that's
It was
lucky.
the closest I've ever come.
You know that you're really low on petrol when you're at the traffic lights, and you think that your steering wheel's disengaged or whatever, so you do a little because you think
So check the power.
yeah,
steering.
check the power steering still on. No, but the experience of going to the doctor, it has been, no joke, like 6 years since I went to the doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen yesterday we got on a flight to Sydney,
Mhm.
and I hadn't messaged you over the weekend because I was like, oh, I won't annoy him. He'll go
Thank
and
you.
book in this trip.
Did you really think that?
I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I thought he probably hasn't done it, but I'm not going to message him and say, have you done it?
I did see that Slack. Was it on Saturday?
Oh,
There was a
yeah.
Slack
It
message.
didn't respond. So I did actually ask over the weekend, but I didn't personally text message you
Yeah.
and say, have you booked in the doctor's appointment? Have you got the referral? And so I asked you, and then you got defensive instantly and brought up some other stuff that we need to organise.
Well, I just said
it was more
I've
important
got
than that.
other shit on my mind.
It's
And
like, so do we all. I didn't want 2 fucking blood tests.
No, but so the good thing is, but I think that you are more invested in the testosterone.
I mean, Mr. 97, as soon as he got it, I needed to get it. I need one more person, and then the last person it's just a joke if they don't. They're just an absolute
The funny thing is,
piece of shit.
I was thinking over the weekend, I'm like, how do we position it as content? So I just don't have to but it's not that funny.
No, it's not that funny.
And so,
I mean, look
so
at the
you-
book.
and so you booked me in for an appointment. Thank you.
So I booked him in.
Jem just said Josh called me yesterday and was like, Tommy is booking it in for me.
Yeah,
true.
Booked.
And
All
so the
booked and
thing
done.
is, luckily though, I couldn't get mad at him, but Tommy nearly submitted the wrong date of birth.
Wouldn't
like
have
the wrong-
mattered. It wouldn't
Yeah,
have
it wouldn't
mattered.
have mattered.
It's an online booking form. I literally could have
doesn't
put my name and I could have put my last name and you could have said, oh, my work colleague booked this for me because I was too busy.
Because
You could say my
I've got
admin
other
person
things
booked
on
it
my-
for me, and that's
my
their name.
EA.
It's not your passport that I've submitted for and put the wrong name. It's
'Cause
a
you
fucking
had to fill in the form when you got there, right? There's 2 forms.
Nothing.
What?
No, I filled out a Medicare. I got mum to take a photo of the Medicare card, the one that's between me and my bro and my family. And yeah, I didn't have to fill out anything. It was great. But
You didn't have to check the boxes on your previous conditions and stuff?
No. That's all through Hot Docs.
Oh, so,
Well, I went
So Tommy
through
did
and
that.
yeah, I
No,
did.
Tommy started it, and then I started getting text messages saying you need to complete your new patient
oh.
form.
Okay, and then you did that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And so it all
Good.
worked out okay. But no, I felt like the doctor was asking me questions, and I didn't know when to stop in regards to information. And because he's the first time I've seen him, I started giving him so much context.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah, but you do that when you're nervous or like awkward. It's not, you're not even nervous. when you're in an awkward situation, you can tell you just
but also
talk too
asking
much.
questions. I asked him, I said,
It's the best
yeah.
part of your day.
no, I asked, I was like,
What's been the highlight of your day at 8:30?
That's what he says.
well, I actually saw him. I was waiting for him when he arrived. Like I saw him
yeah,
walk
I
and
booked
go
you into the
things.
first
Yeah,
appointment
thank
with
you, I
old mate.
appreciate that. But no, I asked things like, "Oh, is everyone going vegetarian?" He said yes.
That's good.
And then the one thing he said that was interesting, because I tried to get the vitamin D,
Yeah.
and he was looking through what Medicare covers, and he's like, unless you've got a bone condition, they won't do it based on it costs more to get the test than it does to actually just take vitamin D tablets.
Yeah, and that's the Gronk that initially gave me the blood test.
That's what he was saying.
He was saying that Australia. I asked you to look it up. You didn't. Did you ever find it? It was how much did Australia spend on vitamin D
like
tests?
$150 million.
Yeah,
a year
with no.
The thing is, there's no point getting it done coming out of winter either, because everyone's got a deficiency in winter.
Yeah. But it was so I did get into. I went through everything. I showed him my toe.
Poor bloke.
But the thing is that he didn't actually say anything. He wasn't like, because I said that the last doctor fucked it because he didn't cut the actual, like they didn't kill the future growth, so it keeps the ingrown keeps growing.
Okay.
Anyway.
I mean, these people hear people self-diagnosing every single day. Imagine, I'd love to speak to a doctor on the show, not in the clinic, but just about what they're up against.
I wonder
like
if they can talk about that. Yeah, sure.
Like the people, like the Google doctors of this world.
Virtual doctors, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but the funny thing is you had said to me, you were like, just don't give them much information. Just say the minimum amount of information. Just say, I want to get the testosterone. Before you know it, I said, he says, I'm like, I'm a bit tired, you know. He says, anything else? I'm like, and I'm a bit depressed. And so then I thought fucking midway through, I'm like, am I going to walk away with one of those, like the 10 sessions?
The mental health plan.
I should have batched it. I should have just kept going with it.
How much can you batch with a doctor? Like how much can you go, and I'm looking for this and I'm going away, I need this referral and I need this.
Well, that's what I was sort of saying to him. I was saying to him, I'm like, look, I haven't been here in 6 years. Let's just try and do a few of them. And then he's like, okay, I would. And then I panicked because he said, so yeah, we're just going to need you to fast for this, for the blood test. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, and I just had to quickly think on my feet. I'm like,
That's not going to work for me?
Yeah, I was like, that's what I said. I was like, look, I haven't been to a doctor in 6 years. I want this to be really easy. Can we just, like, what can we just do now so that I don't have to fast? So he just ticked a few boxes. He's like, okay, here you go. But the other thing he did was the thing that I hate the most. I don't mind blood tests, but the high, what do they call it?
Pressure
the
monitor.
blood pressure monitor.
Mate, it is a sleeve on your arm.
It is the most inaccurate way to measure your blood pressure they could possibly use.
Why?
I don't know if that's true, by the way.
Mate,
I know. I was Why like, would the
where
doctor
did this
use
fucking-
it?
No.
Where would the doctor use it?
Everyone's got high blood pressure when you got something pumping on your arm.
No, they don't. You
I
moron.
do. Josh does.
It's not. Yeah, because you got fucking high blood pressure.
No,
that's not how it
it's
works.
because
It's
if I did this, is your blood pressure higher?
Yeah, but
I just
it's-
grabbed your
Hang
arm.
on, you're now challenging the technology that has been used, that is used around the globe.
Yeah.
I was the one that predicted Fitbit's demise, and I'll do this. No, I think that there's got to be a better way, don't you think?
What do you mean?
But the best bit was, I then asked him, I go, what does that actually do? I think he's probably in his whole entire career, because I looked him up, right? So before I went in, I was like, what's he into? He went to the University of Auckland or whatever.
He was Kiwi.
Yeah, Kiwi, like Asian Kiwi, like Asian who studied in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But then I was like, what is he into? And literally they say it's like he likes looking after like men's health. And so I thought, oh, that's good. Testosterone, that's like connection. And then it said he also enjoys like cutting out lesions. And so that's why.
Enjoyment.
And so that's why I mentioned the toenail thing, because I thought that I could fucking hit him with two things.
Don't ever take any of this approach to a date. Like your pre-research building the story around what you need to then have a conversation around is outrageous.
But so then he took my blood pressure. He said it was high. I said, well, my petrol nearly ran out and I've had a coffee.
The coffee, definitely.
Yeah. And then so he got me to put my arm up and then like wait a bit and then do that. And so that was all fine. Like I got, because I don't actually know whether this is true or not, but you were sort of being like, if they think that we're just doing this all for content, we might not get it through Medicare, because they'll be like, you guys are taking the piss, and they won't do it.
I mean, maybe.
And so that's what you were saying. And so I had become hyper aware of that. So I felt like through my whole fucking doctor's appointment, I'm suddenly a liar. But then I got the piece of paper I walked out, and so he I'm not good at following instructions. So he said to me, he was like, so now just go out. I'm like, have you guys got a podiatrist? He said, yes. So not podiatrist. What's it called? Pathologist.
Pathologist. Yeah.
He said, just go to reception. You take a number and ding a bell. Right. But I was too busy reading all the like the details
The
that
test
he had.
that he's written on the referral.
Oh, yeah, you
And so
gotta
he had to
check that
repeat it. So he actually opened the door and showed me what to do, which was lovely. But then, as that was happening, I was greeted by the Coconut Crew's Andre, who is one of Miss 97's best mates.
Yeah.
I've never met him before, and he was just sitting there.
You know what he looks like though?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so
very
you-
distinct features. Like you can't miss him. Like, there was no like, oh my god, is that Andre?
No,
What's his nationality?
He's Indonesian. Part
Indonesian?
part Indonesian.
Can he
yeah.
speak?
I was about to say Greek.
No,
No,
he-
that's
he-
Jace.
Yeah, Jace
No,
is
but
Greek.
still, I know- yeah, I know Andre.
prefers to be thought of as Spanish.
Okay.
Well, he's
No,
wanting
so
to go to-
Spaniard.
sells it in a bit more than Indonesian.
What do you mean?
He just prefers being Spanish.
is
than
he
Indonesian.
Spanish?
No, he's not Spanish at
So
all.
you
He
can't
just
sell it in if you're not Spanish. But he was
no,
telling.
it's the Coconut Crew thing.
The funny thing is, though, I said, "Oh, do you have any travel plans?" He goes, "I'd like to go to Spain and learn the language." So it's like, "Oh, go back to motherland." Is that what you- But no, so he was sitting there. First mistake, went up. I'm like, "Oh, hey," and then he introduced himself, but I know who he is, so I don't introduce myself. But I shook his hand, and I thought,
What's wrong with that?
I don't think you're meant to shake people's hands at a doctor's.
I shook the doctor's hand when I,
I
walked
shook the
in.
doctor's hand.
Really?
Yeah.
I literally didn't based on.
So
I
if you were
thought-
to see your brother, like somebody that you love,
so I should have hugged the doctor.
if you love the doctor,
No, but so my
maybe
point,
that's
I
not
thought
right.
I was
But
being,
if I saw a family friend or something, I'd give him a kiss.
and so I was thinking, I was like, do I shake the guy's hand? But I thought, you know what, he would be dealing with all like people being sick. As a doctor, would you want to be shaking people's hands?
Yeah, it's a part of your job. Like
You think that being a doctor, part of your
Yeah.
job is shaking people's hands?
Yeah.
like I'm always surprised. Like I remember they're like sometimes it depends on when they put gloves on.
I
Like
mean,
when are they going to put gloves on? Like
it depends what they're doing.
yeah, I'm just trying to think about like if I've had an inspection.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because like your experience, like you're like definitely shake their hand
You definitely
from
shake
the
their hand.
intimacy point of view, but then you're criticizing me for knowing what uni he went to and what he enjoys.
One's got no thought, and one's just like
Yeah, I
you're
get
trying
that.
to. You're not on a speed date,
Yeah.
bro.
And so
You're not
any-
on a fucking blind date where you've tried to ask a few questions before to get the preempting what this date could be like.
But what he didn't realize was I was setting him up to be my my new family doctor,
yeah.
because I have the cafe I go to, Heritage Wall, which is in Camberwell.
Mm.
This Baldwin Medical Centre is close by to that, right? I think
Not really.
it's like within 2 kilometres.
It's closer than
Yeah.
where you are now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, I'm sort of creating essential services. Got my favourite cafe.
Living
Got
up
this
this place.
place.
You'll
go
live
to
in
the
Kew.
GP,
Yeah. And
Move
there's that
into a
chicken-
mansion in Kew.
Yeah.
Go to Camberwell.
No, I don't think Q would be my
Camberwell?
maybe Camberwell, maybe. Ash Williams' mum lives there.
Yeah.
So maybe Ash and I could hang out.
Well, he lives in Sydney.
And so anyway, but then when I shook Andre's hand, he said, "Oh, are you getting your testosterone tested?"
Little
He probably
snitch.
yelled it as
Yeah.
well.
And so the
he's a-
thing, he is loud. 'Cause-
Yeah.
And I felt rude to be saying, "Hey, man, I'm just here."
Where
But
was but where was the doctor at this point?
I think his door, like he just sort of started walking off, but his door was still
Oh
open.
my god.
And so he's creating a scene.
Oh no, that's so annoying. And so your heart was just racing
Yeah.
at the moment. The
And so-
blood pressure that's already high is even higher. And he's thinking,
And so then, but there's the whole thing of there's one thing to just meet someone, and I think if I meet someone on the street, quite good. Meeting someone with then a full doctor's surgery, like a sort of like an outside area.
when you're trying to get a test for something like
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're trying to fly under the radar.
Yeah, fly under the
Yeah, I
radar.
get it, I
And so
get it.
then the thing is that I'm trying to move as far away from medical stuff as possible. So that's why I'm like, oh, you know, if you were to live if you were to travel somewhere, where would you travel? And just those types of things.
Can we find out for tomorrow's show what Andre's experience was
I
like
think you already asked
meeting
him,
Josh.
didn't you? Or
Yeah,
no?
I saw Andre on the way out because he drove his car past or whatever, and
so
I was
I-
waiting for Josh.
So I made the mistake. So
Oh,
this-
you needed support.
Well, so this is the whole thing. So 97 lives like a 35-minute walk.
yeah, yeah.
And so my appointment was at 8:30. Mr. 97 normally gets into work at like 9:15.
Mm.
And so I said to him, I'm like, hey, why don't you walk to the doctor's surgery and then I can drive you in to work. But the thing was that everything took way longer. So I didn't get out of there until 9:30.
Mm.
But and so I saw your mate Andre.
Yeah.
What did he say? The other thing he said, though, by the way, is after I've had this conversation, he's led with, oh, did you get your testosterone tested, all that sort of thing. As he was walking off, he said, nice to meet you, man. So people are like, what the fuck? This guy knows about the testosterone thing, but he doesn't know. Anyway, so what was Andre's experience?
I'll have to get a full debrief, but for what Andre said, he was rattled.
He was rattled.
He was rattled.
He was rattled.
He was rattled that he saw you in there.
Well, I didn't know whether I wanted to find out what he was going in there for. But is that a big no-no? If you're at the doctor's surgery,
Oh,
can you ever say, hey, why are you in there?
I saw a
you
guy.
know them.
I saw a guy at a hospital. Saw a guy at a hospital, and I avoided it because it's like, oh, what are you here for? My fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, but
something real
hospital
bad.
versus GP though.
Still, you could be there to get your balls tested.
I mean, that's
You know,
fine.
you could be there to get a finger in your bum for your prostate.
but what is a good outcome? For someone saying, hey, why at the GP? A good outcome
Yeah,
is
true.
I'm doing some body hacking and
Yeah.
trying to increase my athleticism.
I mean,
my
we're all
jump.
we're all sticky beaks.
Yeah,
I was-
I'm not. I'm a sticky beak in regards to
Difference between the sticky beak
if
that
I
says
could,
it.
if I could find out that information without having to speak to them about it.
I
if
like
I
looking,
could have
finding out
Yeah,
if the
if there was
doctor
a piece
likes.
of paper, and it said, Coconut Crew Andre on
Yeah.
it, and I could read that information and find out all of his stuff. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. On the plane last night, coming home from Sydney, I just, because they turned off the lights, it was a nighttime flight, and I was looking because there was this beaming computer screen light coming through the seat.
You
in
always say the
front.
best things on planes.
And so I started looking, and I was just really intrigued by this woman who was quite small, sort of dark hair, and I was trying to work out. I couldn't really see how old she was, and I was trying to understand what's she doing on a computer. Like, got out her classic like Microsoft Note.
Mhm.
So I was like, corporate business.
Yeah.
Then I started reading her emails because she was just doing her
Oh,
emails.
what did her email say?
So confusing. It gave me absolute anxiety of what it would be like to work in a big business. I got a sense she might have been in law or finance. She was dealing with big budgets on projects, and there was all these people writing passive emails. Like, I got into
What
it.
do
It
you
was
mean
like,
the passive
you know,
email?
like the when people sort of like outline very specifically, here's what you need. I need this, this, and this. I know sometimes I was just gauging.
You're talking about clear communication. Is that what you're
Clear as
against?
kind.
Yeah, clear as kind.
Yeah, but it's even like, when you work in a big business, and clear is kind of get your fucking motivational shit right here, boys. But I also, when you understand when someone's like, I'm talking to you like a dummy because you don't understand this. So here's A, here's B, and here's C. Now, like there was very much that style. And it just gave me shivers of working in big business using Microsoft. What's the Outlook. And she's on a plane, there's no Wi-Fi, and she's, like having to digest like 70 emails before she gets off. I was like, oh, I had to disconnect because I was in her vortex of like speaking to Peter from finance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, even on the way there was a guy, and I look over. So the way that Tommy has booked our seats is we're both in the aisle.
It's classic. If you're traveling with somebody, don't
yeah.
get a seat next to each other. Get aisle seats that are next to each other. And it's fun.
I'd like to say I
get the
introduced
gap.
you into that.
Did you? I think
Nason and I would do it when we were traveling.
it's
Great
good.
idea.
It's so good because you can just have a bit of a breather.
Because
and then,
you can talk, like you then have a good amount of space to be able to sort of talk to one another.
food cart comes through. You can have no
Good-
dialogue
and
for a
you
while.
also have better banter with the people who are on the carts.
Oh yeah,
Because you can sort of talk
Yeah.
in the sort of a triangular
yeah.
sort of thing. Anyway, so I look over, and Tommy has a guy is sleeping and Tommy has his hand on the guy's leg. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I actually had to look who is he touching? And then he was sort of like pointing at the guy's cup. And the guy has a full coffee cup with, I think it must have been tea or coffee or something, but it was like with milk and it was like full, like completely full. And Tommy was sort of gesturing and saying, the guy's like, his leg is knocking it, right?
Yeah, because he was asleep. He had noise cancelling headphones and he was
having night terrors.
And his knee would knock the tray table and the full thing. I'm like, this is fucked.
And so Tommy's like, just watch it. I was like, okay. Anyway, we're about to land and the flight attendant is walking past, sees the guy doesn't have, he still has his tray table down with the drink. I felt that in that moment, she should have just picked up the drink and then woken him up and said, hey, we're just putting up your tray table. Instead, she touched him on the shoulder. He then reacts, lifts his knees, and the drink just goes everywhere.
The whole cup of tea.
The whole cup.
Oh,
all
so
over.
avoidable.
Did it go on you, Tommy?
Nah.
It was like
because I told Josh, like, watch this. This is going to happen. And so I'd move my knees.
Okay.
I'd move my knee. I was ready for it.
Yeah. And so, like, so avoidable.
Yeah.
And so it got me thinking, like, should I have done something? Like, should we have done something? Probably should have.
I should have got the worst thing for that bloke. He's probably blaming it all on me because I got him that cup of tea.
Oh, that's right.
Because
it was a free.
We didn't use all of our vouchers. We had two $10 vouchers between us.
I didn't understand that system
Why
at
do
all.
you have a $10 voucher?
I don't know.
I've never
how I
flown
got it.
Jetstar.
I flew Jetstar and we got given $10 vouchers for our tickets.
It's almost like
$20
rationing.
to spend. $20 to spend on
the plane.
On the plane. So I got a cup of tea. Josh got water, and then
But you didn't use all of our food stamps.
That was all of the. Yeah, it didn't use all of them. And I said, anyone around us want a cup of tea? And he wakes up and says, "Yeah, I have a cup of tea."
But he didn't have any of it.
I know. He regretted that one.
He must have been doing okay though, because I
That's
think he
so
had the
funny.
new Microsoft headphones potentially.
Hey, what's
did
that?
he?
The noise cancelling, yeah, they're quite good. They're sort of the new, instead of Bose,
Oh yeah.
that's what people are getting. You can use a dial to turn off how much, like you can dial in and dial out how much noise cancellation you want,
Oh, that's cool.
which is
I think it's
interesting.
built into the headphone as well. You just like twist it.
Yeah, Mr. Joseph.
Belinda says nobody likes an entertainment guide voucher user. Those golden coupon books are a direct path to dating hell. Julie says doctors and other clinicians shake patients' hands all the time.
Yeah.
And Grace just joined.
That Grace.
Hi, Grace. And so
any-
maybe I should start. Maybe he thinks I'm rude.
for not shaking his hand.
Yeah.
I don't think it really matters. I can't remember if I.
He was coughing a lot before I went in there. I heard coughing. I was like, this guy's not doing well today. And so,
I think we're on to winners at that clinic because I got a sweet, sweet lady, and I was really annoyed I didn't tell her that she.
did a good job.
I wanted to tell her that she has a very kind smile, and she made me feel nice when I walked in. Like, but I didn't tell her. I was so annoyed
Yeah.
because I was like, fucking. She just gave me this test referral. And I really wanted to tell her that because I saw her how she interacted with the previous woman, the previous
nice as
person who was
How
a
did
woman,
you see that?
sitting in the waiting room, and she
You
just
can see them.
she came up and walked and-
you had the first.
I think I was at door 3.
yeah.
You had the
but
first
they
appointment.
came. She comes out to greet you. You don't walk in next, and they walk in. She
Yeah.
comes out and says, "Mrs. Blah blah blah," and then
That's nice.
got up and they had this really nice. And she put her hand on her and, "How are you?"
Oh, that's
As you want a nice warm doctor. You don't want.
Yeah.
yeah. The pathologist has an interesting job because they're trying to gauge. Was your pathologist trying to gauge whether you were okay with needles?
I think they just quickly throw out a few things, but some maybe more. I mean, maybe you're the big baby that they have seen coming from a mile away and think,
97 had to lie
"Oh, we
down.
got
I was the
we got
big
a
baby.
squealer. We got a squealer on our hand.
And so, so I
We got
was
a fainter on our hand."
Well, so she said. Well, so the thing is, you know why she probably asked? Because as soon as I was waiting like half an hour, and then as soon as I went in, I didn't want to. I had the referral and the card in my hand, but I was busting to piss. But I didn't want to take that with me and potentially lose my spot. And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Because the blood test is I'm not going to be able to concentrate if I'm getting my blood and I need to wee. And so as soon as I walked in, I said, do you mind if I wee quickly? but for whatever reason, she couldn't
Yeah.
comprehend what I was saying.
I think
And so I was saying, oh, can I just quickly go to the bathroom? And so maybe that was the thing. And so she did. She was asking some questions. She said, have you, when was the last time you had your blood test? I said, oh, maybe like 10 years. She was blown away by that. Anyway, so I said, oh, no, I should be fine. I said, oh, I'll just I won't look at it. And then just into this routine, she was just like, so how's the weather? And it just caught me off guard because I'm like, oh, I went so focused on the feeling of the needle because she's almost set me up. It's like you're trying to get me over here, but now all I'm thinking of is what you're actually doing. And so then I was like, it's it's cloudy, but she knows because she just fucking came in.
But maybe she got you at that point because you actually were thinking about the weather.
Then so I remember my doctor pinching me when I was a kid as a way of
getting a sensation.
Yeah, he pinches
somewhere
you
else.
on your fucking, and so I started just pinching myself. As she's doing this, and then she's like, "Oh, it's meant to be blue skies later in the week." I was like, "This is fucking horrendous." And then so I said, I was like, I was hearing the sound of my blood squirting into the vial, which I'd never heard in my life. I was like, I guess you have to talk so that I don't hear the squirting of
You
the
said
blood.
that to her?
Yeah. And then I was like, and you know what? I've never fainted before, but I feel like if I talk about it too much, maybe that sets people off.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm off to LA next week. And she's like, oh yeah, great.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. She's like, no, but then
Nearly
she's
done.
like, but it's almost like this Olympic game of improv. And then she's like, oh yeah, how were the flats? I was like, oh, they're under $1,000. And she's like, oh, I'm thinking of going and
She got you.
And I was like, oh yeah, you should go.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and we're done. And then we just had to fucking stop with the bullshit
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
But then when I
it's
left, I said to her, you should definitely book those LA flights.
this- what did she say?
She was like, what the fuck? I think she'd forgotten that we'd spoken about it. So it was all just a bit weird. But then I asked it, I over asked. I was like, do I have to go to reception again? She's like, no.
That's what
Leave.
that's what I asked as well. I don't think that's
Why are
embarrassing.
these things so not clear?
Well, because it feels weird just going in and not paying anything.
But also Europe car. We went to Europe car yesterday to get a car in Sydney, and it wasn't clear we were meant to there were 3 people lined up, and then there was another counter, but there was no one lined
to drop
up.
your car back.
No, not to drop the car back, to get a car. And so I find all these things very confusing. Guys, just make it easy. Just communicate. Tell me where to stand.
Yeah. Belinda just said, once I had a pathologist with a bung eye come at me. No shit. I was severely dehydrated at the time too. Needless to say, it did not end well. My arm was black, yellow, and blue for a full week.
Oh no.
That's no good.
I was asking about, I asked those questions how are my veins? Do you ask that stuff or no?
No.
How can she see your veins?
Literally just don't talk.
What are you talking
dude.
about?
Don't need to talk.
Well,
Why are
she's
you talking?
doing stuff. But also I was doing if I didn't talk, how's the weather? I just,
It's fine. It's
You just
like
hear it spurting.
you don't have to talk. You're talking because you're awkward. That's all.
no, I'm
that's the
talking
only
because I'm
reason.
building fucking
rapport with a
rapport.
person that you'll forget in 4 seconds.
neck minute. She's in LA. She's got 2 tickets to Kanye, and she's like, I remember you.
Who's the
Let's go.
other ticket? Just her
Huh?
and you.
She had.
So you're on date night?
No, she couldn't. No, I'm
With
not
your
going-
pathologist.
No,
The
no, no.
ultimate date.
Jeez.
I mean, no, I'd probably say Tommy likes Kanye more.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and
That's-
then 97
that's
and I would go to
Um,
the chicken shop and only get tabbouleh.
Just want to finish it off with a compliment that's come from my wife, Amos. Not for you or I. Disappointing.
97's getting it. I asked him to put together what we've done in the last, from episode 400 to 500.
Mm.
It's my fashion show, my hair bleach,
Yeah.
my.
Yeah.
Whose show
Yeah.
is this?
I'll
I've
tell you what.
realised-
I'll tell you what though, it's paying off. Amy said, and I totally fucking agree. Amy said, Mr. 97 has completely come out of his shell. I think you were, you'd come a long way.
We've cracked him.
But She was laughing at his jokes, laughing at him interrupting. I love it. She says, he's really sort of injecting and, coming in with stuff to say. I said, yeah, because we fucking tell him to. I can't even give it to him. I can't give it to the kid. I'm like,
It's fair.
mate, we're saying yell at us.
Yeah.
Bring in,
I say if someone comments on it, you interrupt me.
yeah.
You've done a very
Yeah,
good
but
job
I-
today.
It still feels weird, just like interrupting. I feel like I'm going to disrupt the flow.
No, there is no flow. Listen to this fucking abomination. Any other?
But yeah, so that's come through, Mace, and I tend to agree. I said
absolutely.
he's actually really funny.
great.
Maybe funny
Awesome.
since
You
he's
said
been
something
around us.
funny the other day. What was it? It
About
wasn't even.
eating you. Oh, my mum loved Friday's episode.
What
What-
was
Just
it?
Fridays, where we were talking about Tommy got you the
Oh yeah.
vegetarian.
That was an annoying episode.
No,
yeah, but we
because he
were
was
talking
salivating
about
'cause he
how
wanted to eat.
good you would be in a tribe.
Yeah. I think Amy also mentioned that's the one.
Yeah, eating me.
It really
Yeah,
shone
was
that
funny.
episode.
Yeah,
didn't
I
it?
actually it shows how funny we thought it was because Bree doesn't listen that often, but I did retell that story. I was like, yeah, 97 was saying like mix it in with some rice, like that sort of thing.
Belinda said you can feel it when they can't see your veins.
Oh yeah,
Or
it's
they're just
gross.
'cause
feeling
they're
around for something. Yeah.
Flicking.
By the way, men are terrible at needles, period.
Who said that?
Belinda.
Interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I would want to get done, but I did get me thinking. One of the organised August things was to give blood, and I heard a very powerful radio ad yesterday where a guy's like, "I need your blood," and then he's like, "But like, I'm not a patient. I'm someone who gives blood every fucking 2 weeks or whatever," and he's like, "Blood only lasts 45 days." It has to be used in 45 days. And so he's like, help me out, give blood also. And I was like, oh, that was a really good, it was like very practical.
Yeah.
But now we've got to book it in. So,
Yeah. So much admin for you.
but we should do it.
I'll do it, and then you guys will probably end up wanting to do it.
But I've heard that the needles are bigger, but who cares? But like, no,
no,
but
no.
we're saving people's lives.
Yeah.
I still have too many panic attacks to do that.
Yeah, I mean, 97
I mean-
was like, I don't know how she knew that I was nervous. I was like, are we bright red? Were you sweating?
yeah.
Like, there's a list.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. 97, admin wise?
We got a review from Little Ghosts, 5-star review. New favourite. So glad to have 400 plus episodes to catch up on. Great job, guys, on creating an engaging podcast.
Thank you,
Far
little
out.
ghost.
That's better get cracking on the 400.
We need to do something about the bugs
That's
in the
huge.
office as well. I wonder if it's coming in on shot. But I don't know if it's something to do with fruit that you've been eating.
No. My fruit goes out the back,
Where?
just behind the office.
What do you mean?
No, he's decided that the back of our office is his
Compost.
compost.
But what about like fruit that hasn't been eaten yet?
I mean, he eats it.
What do you mean? I eat it.
You're talking about fruit flies. No, these
Yeah,
are
there's
fucking
one right
flies
there.
from upstairs. We left the door open upstairs, and they're coming in. We
All
need
right.
to get some spray.
Anyway, it's a daily talk show. Be like a little ghost. Leave us an Apple Podcast review because we are little babies.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
And if you want to send us an email, you can do that. hi@thedailytalkshow.com. Anything else, 97? Any other bits of admin?
Bearded Fen,
Mhm.
the Say Something Funny, How's Fitbit is a great t-shirt slogan.
Yeah, that
House
was
Fitbit.
a house Fitbit.
That's it. Bit in joke. Not everyone will get it, but your brother would, which is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
which is my
Unreal.
the
We
best.
should do something funny. Send him something that's Fitbit related.
Can we get because your dad said how's Fitbit, right?
Yeah.
Can we get like
Richard.
like a Richard, like this is the t-shirt of That's
How's
Crazy.
Fitbit?
Has Fitbit, Richie.
No,
Richie Rich.
I like that.
All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
Catch you guys.